On the night of July 13th, 1966, Chicago was humid, quiet, and unsuspecting. Inside a nurse's dormitory on the South Side, 8 young women, student nurses from South Chicago Community Hospital, were preparing for bed after long shifts. They were immigrants, daughters, sisters, dreamers. Their lives were pointed towards service and healing. What none of them knew was that a drifter named Richard Speck was wandering the neighborhood. Speck had spent years drifting between jobs on ships, bars, and cheap motels. His record was long: robbery, assault, and a trail of violence that followed him across states. But in the summer of 1966, he was back in Chicago, fueled by anger, alcohol, and the belief that the world owed him something. Just before midnight, Speck slipped into the townhouse where the nurses lived. Over the next several hours, what unfolded would become one of the most shocking crimes in American history. 8 nurses were killed, women from the Philippines and the United States, while one woman hid beneath a bed, surviving by sheer luck and quiet bravery. Her name, Corazon Amurao. She would become the key witness who broke the entire case open. When police arrived the next morning, the city was shaken. The brutality wasn't just shocking, it felt impossible. How had one man overpowered 8 women in a home filled with bright lights, laughter, photographs of family, and reminders of their dreams? The hunt for the killer became a national story overnight. Newspapers ran sketches. Detectives chased tips across bus stations, diners, docks, and cheap apartments. Then, in a strange twist of fate, Speck turned up at a hospital after a failed attempt to end his own life. A doctor recognized the tattoo on his arm. Born to raise hell. Police rushed in. Corazon Amurao was brought to identify him. She stepped into a room and pointed straight at him. That's the man. The trial was swift. The evidence was overwhelming. Richard Speck was found guilty on all counts and sentenced to death, later reduced to life in prison when Illinois temporarily suspended executions. But the story didn't end there. Over the years, footage would emerge from inside the prison, videos showing Speck living comfortably, mocking the system, and bragging about beating justice. The public was furious. Politicians demanded answers. The prison system was forced to rethink how inmates lived and how contraband flowed behind bars. Richard Speck died in 1991 of a heart attack, alone, unclaimed by family, his ashes scattered in an unknown location. His legacy remains one of the darkest chapters in American true crime. But the story isn't about him. It's about the 8 young women who came to America to heal, not to be harmed, and the one survivor whose courage ensured the world would never forget their names.